If I go in with low expectations, I can't be disappointed. And then you dare to dream. Inevitably, that disappointment always gets you.
So much of people's relationship with football is an extension of how they just view the wider world.
Yeah.
I'm generally sort of optimistic about stuff, and therefore I'm generally optimistic about... I'm basically an idiot about everything. I'm thick. What about this tournament then for England? What are your expectations going in? Ooh.
You have to accept the pressure, you know what I mean? Just do the best, like prepare for the moment. Because I remember as soon as I walked into the locker room, those guys look like they look at me and say, I can't believe these guys helped Brazil won against us. I think the people never forget, you know what I mean? You know? As soon as you get in the field, they all remember that, you know what I mean? They always say, oh, Kleberson, why you don't help in 2010? Why you don't get at the bench? You do the same thing in 2002, you know what I mean? Why Felipe Melo do this stuff? Why Julius says let the goal go in? It's a part of football, you know. You make mistake.
Hello, I'm Matt Forde, and this is How to Win the World Cup with talkSPORT. Between now and this summer's tournament in America, I'll be joined by the great and the good from the world of football to find out what it takes to win the most coveted prize in sport. In today's episode, we're talking managing the expectation of a nation.
England leave battered and bruised. They finish bottom of a World Cup group for the first time ever. Right footed. Oh, he's blasted it over the bar. He's missed it. Felt as though 2022 had a real possibility of being the year. And like so many before it isn't the year.
I've got World Cup winner Kleberson alongside me once again. He's had to deal with the pressure of playing for Brazil. And to help me today is the phenomenal comedian, Paul McCaffrey. Paul, you look surprised that I described you as a phenomenal comedian then. You visibly.
Wow, straight in.
But you did.
I did, yeah.
Sounds like a meerkat.
Yeah. I'm so used to you sort of roasting me that it's just kind of, it was a surprise, the element of surprise.
But it's true.
It's like a positive ambush. I didn't see it coming. I was braced for a sort of metaphorical kick in the face, and I actually got a hug.
Well, there you go. You see, you didn't manage your expectations.
I didn't, yeah.
You prepared for the wrong scenario.
Absolutely right, yeah.
So as an England fan, we've watched a lot of football matches together.
We have. We've been to Wembley on numerous occasions,
Oh,
yeah.
Man. Are you similar to me, or am I more optimistic than you?
No, I think you are way more optimistic than me. I think you always sort of go into the World Cup with a kind of like childlike excitement, which, is great. I think over the years I have learnt to sort of go in with low expectations. The problem with the World Cup is, no matter how you start off, at some point, it's like when we do the Edinburgh Festival, you go up and go, I'm not going to worry about it this year. I'm just going to take it easy. And then a weekend, you're like, what was I thinking? Yeah. And I think the World Cup is very similar to that. You sort of go and go, well, if I go in with low expectations, I can't be disappointed. And then you start to look good. And then you dare to dream.
Kane starts firing.
And then, inevitably that disappointment always gets you.
But did you learn that as a kid? Did you have high expectations and you got your heart broken? Or have you always had this mindset? Are there any particular tournaments you remember?
Yeah, so the sort of two formative ones for me were... Argentina hurt me, Matt. That's particularly Maradona. So 82 and 86 were the first two that I can remember, the Panini sort of albums, the wall charts, going into school the next day saying, I want to be Maradona when, and all of that. And those
were doing drugs that early?
It was either Maradona or Madonna. And, so those were the sort of first two that I can remember kind of being really excited and sort of watching them with my dad and sort of just the sort of atmosphere of the World Cup and I feel very lucky to have we had the England song in 82 this time with sort of...
more than any other.
Yeah, what a tune.
It's not a new order, is it?
It's not new order, and I know you are sort of a big sort of Italia 90 guy, but, I do the sort of big headphones, Keegan, the strip, the iconic Admiral sort of strip.
Yeah, you got to enjoy England in a slightly different era.
Yeah.
A more innocent time.
Yeah, and I think sort of there's a lot of stuff that sort of happened then which we no longer do, which I feel is a shame, actually. The squad getting together and doing a song, I'd love to see that come back.
And but these days, what sort of genre would it be?
Don't know. Drum and bass, probably.
I'd be up for that.
Would you? Well,
yeah.
get it going. You're well positioned.
We've got a platform.
You've got this podcast. The campaign starts now.
The campaign starts now for a drum and bass England song. So thinking of like more recent times then, 2018 takes everyone by surprise, really. Going into that tournament, I would say expectations were low.
Well, the problem with that is it's prolonged disappointment, isn't it? You know, it's kind of like the disappointment just came earlier. Or later, sorry, in the tournament. So you're like...
Because it crept up on us, it still felt like a big achievement to get to the semis.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I think, you know, this era has been sort of pretty good for us with the sort of last 2 Euros and the World Cup. So there's been a lot to be happy about. But, you know, we've just never had our day in the sun, have we?
Are you a crier? With football?
Not really, no. No.
Were you ever, even as a kid?
I don't think so, no. No.
So you've got quite a rational take on it then. You're quite good at managing your expectations. That I'm going to enjoy it, but if we lose, it's not the end of the world.
I just think I quite quickly go to that sort of self-flagellation. Oh, I think I'm taking that. Nothing good ever happens for me. You know.
So it's like, it fits into your worldview about your life.
Inward. Yeah, absolutely. I start sort of attributing it to other sort of parts of my life. Well, of course we're not going to win the World Cup. It just gets lumped in with other things in my life.
Do you know what? I actually think so much of people's relationship with football is an extension of how they just view the wider world.
Yeah.
I'm generally sort of optimistic about stuff, and therefore I'm generally optimistic about... I'm basically an idiot about everything. I'm thick.
I think as well, like, I mean... and I know we're sort of talking to Kleberson later on, but like that World Cup, the 2002, was unique because that game happened at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was a weird way to consume disappointment. Do you know what I mean? It was sort of like, I watched that one. I had a mate staying around because we'd been to a gig the night before. I was living in London at the time. So we got up, watched the game, and then I went to work.
Sad.
Whereas usually you'd be out in the pub and it's sort of, I mean, you'd still, when that happens, you'd just go home, usually, wouldn't you?
We'll ask Kleberson about this. It's so true. What about this tournament then for England? What are your expectations going in? Ooh, he's thinking about it.
I am thinking about it. I think I'm just going to try and go in as kind of low-key as possible, and what will be, will be. You sound like a fortune teller. That's like just what if you had to put I'm sorry. I'm on. Yeah. If I had to.
Yeah. How far do you think we'll go?
I mean, you have to go in this thinking that you can win it, don't you?
Here we go.
Oh,
yeah, I agree.
Your bloody your positivity's rubbed off on me.
You can't say bloody.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fine.
Okay, yeah.
Your bloody positivity's rubbed off on me, isn't it?
I think you have to believe, don't you? Isn't it more
You
fun?
have to manage your own expectations. I'm 51 years of age. I have had a lifelong... I'm also a Southampton fan. So I'm used to this kind of disappointment.
You do occasionally win stuff, though. You've been to Wembley with them. You've seen them win the Johnston Paints Trophy.
This is true. It's not the World Cup, but I mean, it was.
On that day, it felt like it.
It did feel like it, yeah.
See, I think it's better to surrender yourself.
And that is amazing. You know, when you do have that sort of like, so I know that day of just like, it's, yes, unbridled joy. We've done it.
Yeah. Even just getting to a final. We got to that first Euros final. My God.
Yeah.
Seeing them walk out for a final.
Yeah.
Obviously, you still want to win it. OK, let's get into it then. How do you cope with the pressure of an expectant nation in the World Cup?
Was this a statement performance that England fans have been calling out for?
Where are we on the sensation meter today? Doom. We're going to win the World Cup. We're going to win the World Cup. Good performance. Good performance. Job done.
I'm thinking we can go one stage further, and that one stage further is, of course, winning the World Cup. And now I'm thinking like that. I think that we can win the World Cup. Is that nuts?
You won't like me for this. I think England are going to challenge like never before to win it under Tuchel.
Why would I not like you for that? I agree
Because
with you.
everybody just laughs and says, yeah, we hear that every time. Of course, he's gone for the obvious answer.
I suppose the question for you, Jermaine, is should we be excited by this England team?
I think so. I think when Tuchel came in, there's a lot of murmurs of is he the right man, he's being German, and I think the performances have told us that he is the right man.
OK, to talk about managing the expectation of an entire nation, we're joined again by our good friend, World Cup winner Kleberson, who of course won it in 2002. Kleberson, did you feel the weight of expectation in 2002?
I was super keen on that time, you know, the expectation, like to be there, just like an expectation, you know what I mean? I don't think like the pressure so much on me at that time because the players I have around me is so much good players, no? Those players, should they have a little bit like expectation and pressure, But that time, I'm just a kid, you know. I just want to enjoy the whole time in 2002.
Do you know what, even now, you feel like a man, I mean, this is a great compliment, a man who feels zero pressure in life at all.
No, be honest, like life always bring like a pressure to you, you know, but you need to accept those pressure, you know what I mean? Like especially like a football players, like a coach, that kind of stuff. If you want to like work in like a big environment, you have to accept the pressure, you know what I mean? Just do your the best, like prepare for the moment, you know, work hard and then make the things work, you know?
It does help if you're a footballing genius as well. All those things, they fall into place a bit easier if you're really good at football. So what was the expectation of the Brazilian people going into 2002? Obviously, you'd won it in USA 94. You lose in the final in 1998. Was it minimum final for the Brazilian people? Is that what they expected?
Yeah, because what happened in 2002, like after Brazil lost 98 against France in the final, they start to move the new generation players, you know what I mean? And then on 2002, they have a lot of expectation, like to bring a Romario on a squad, you know. But Ronaldo on that time, his flight, he has like a great moment before the injuries, but he's recovered well. And then when you get to the World Cup, like the expectation for the fans, it's not clear, you know. They don't think like we can win the World Cup of 2002, but like us inside the group, we like manage the expectation, you know what I mean? We're going like a face by face, you know, like a first game against Turkey is a really like a tough game for us. And then we start to think like other games, you know what I mean? When you make a face against England, the expectation like who won that game should be won the World Cup, you know what I mean? Because this is the top proper team for 2002. After we won the game with a man down, we just look in the face here, guys. Now we have to win this World Cup. The expectation now for us, it's to win the World Cup.
Well, what's your view of us over here in England? Are we bad at managing our expectations as a fan base?
I believe like it's the English team just need to believe more than that. You know what I mean? You guys have a top players. You guys have like a great football. You know what I mean? Just the moment when you guys get there, you guys have to like put your finger and don't let the people get away for you guys, because we get away for you guys in 2002.
Yeah, how did you find the expectation of playing for Man United versus the expectation of playing for Brazil?
Wow, for me it's a really different, you know what I mean? Because like a Brazil national team, I know much each one player because I was a big fan like from Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Roberto Carlos. And then as soon as I get in the locker room, like it's my dream like to stay close for those guys, you know. As soon as I get a Man United, it's a very different because like we have a players for different like personality, you know what I mean? You have like a Roy Keane, it's like a monster. You have like a Van Nistelrooy, he's a king of score goals. We have like a we have a Paul Scholes, like it's a brilliant midfield, you know what I mean? And then inside the locker room, those guys, they have like a really cultural, you know what I mean? Like the Ferguson created on a group. And then I try to adapt on that to have a greater relation with everyone. I made it that, but it's Premier League. It's not easy at that time. It's a lot of transition, you know what I mean? I was the player like to play with the ball. And then I could like have the opportunity to put the ball on the ground and pass the ball and enjoy more. And then I get a lot of injuries, you know what I mean? And then after that injury, I had to come in the locker room. And then I get so upset to get injured to not play more. And then compete like players like a Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, Jumba. It's not easy, you know what I mean? That's a tough moment for me. I think I learned a lot from that, you know? But the expectation like on that time for me, I was thinking I can do a little bit more, but because the injury, because like the adaptation doesn't like help me to play the way I want to play that time.
So with a couple of things as well, I wonder. So you joined Man United in 2003, is that right?
Correct.
So that would have been the year after you knocked us out of the World Cup. What was the reception like in the dressing room on day one? Was there a bit of banter? Was there?
was fun because I remember as soon as I walked into the locker room, those guys look like they look at me and say, I can't believe these guys helped Brazil won against us. And because the only people in the locker room who the World Cup at that time, it's Bartes, but just left to the club, you know what I mean? As soon as I get there, and then I only me, and then this guy start to see me and say, my God, how did kid like do that? You know what I mean? And then I was like a big guy, in the locker room, but it's a super fun to get in there to meet everyone. I remember those guys asking me about like how to play with Ronaldo, how to play with Roberto Carlos, you know what I mean? And then we start to talk like at the game 2002, like it's super fun. Like I enjoy a lot though, to befriend those guys in that time.
I don't know if you can see Paul on camera, Kleberson, but he's a man deeply influenced by Manchester culture and styles his hair on that of Oasis. I wonder, when you were in Manchester and you went out, did you ever see people like Paul? Would you interact with people like him?
Great question.
It's a great question. Yeah, on that time, my English is really bad. You know what I mean? It's still bad, but I still working on it. You know what I mean? And then when I start to talk with the people, especially from Manchester, I couldn't understand anything, anything. Because it's so different. People's I have a neighborhood. In the neighborhood, he knows I'm a Man United player, but never talked to me.
Yeah, all right, Kleberson, how's it going, mate? Yeah, all right. That's top, that, mate. Yeah, like that goal you scored against City.
Yeah, he just walked one time like that. When we in the year, we I put some firework on my yard, you know what I mean? But in England, it's 3 hours away from Brazil, And then it's 3 a.m. in the morning in Manchester. It's midnight in Brazil, and then we turn on the fireworks, start. Everyone in my house yes, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And then my neighborhood coming to my house and say, stop the fire, stop the fires, my horse. That's the only thing I can understand. The old horse is go away for the farm for the guy. The guy get crazy to that's the only thing I can talk to my neighborhood that time.
And did you get into Manchester culture? Did you get into Oasis and tracksuits?
Chips and gravy?
No. Oh yeah, I'll try that. But be honest, the only thing I eat in Manchester, it's a fish and chip, guys.
You like it?
I love it.
And how did you find culturally the kind of support of the club? So, I mean, obviously, when we see Brazil in the World Cup, there's the drums and the kind of carnival aspect to it. I think your support, it would be fair to describe as sexy and colourful. But it has a very different vibe to it to what you would come to, expect
compared to us.
Compared to us, yeah. How did that differ?
Yeah, it's when you talk about Brazilian, we always think about carnival, You always think about samba. You always think about it's a lot of stuff going on. When I get there in the locker room, when I get some friends, I did it on a barbecue, and then in my home, I bring a Mr. Roy, Tim Howard, Ferdinand, those guys, Ronaldo. We do some party, We dance some samba, we do some stuff, but it's total different from England, You guys as a pub, You guys like to go to drink, and then it's opposite. I'm not the guy do so much party, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not like usually Brazilian do it,
We have to ask then, who had the worst samba in Man United?
Oh man, I can tell the best one, Quinto Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quinto is dancing while with Cristiano Ronaldo, just a style on the side and the left everyone, He's not the guy put himself in the bad position. He always concerned.
Quinton Fortune, the best samba in Manchester. So you win the World Cup in 2002, Kleberson. Obviously in 2010 it goes very differently. It doesn't go particularly well. What was the expectation of the fans and of the players going into 2010?
On 2010 or
in 2010?
It's we have a good squad at that time, if you go back to the squad, we have a Robinho, we have Luis Fabiano, Felipe Melo, Michael, our team is a great, great squad, you know. Good coach like a Dunga. He's a captain 94. He's a lot of experience with the players. But we get a face like a top team, you know. Netherlands is a good team at that time. And then we have a great first half. On the second half, we made two mistakes, you know, and then we lost the game. That's the thing in the World Cup. Like it will be different this World Cup because it's the more teams. We play like a stage group. But on that time, when a 7 game, if you make a mistake, it's done. They send you back home, you know? That's happened to us in 2010.
And what's the reaction back home? I mean here, when England get knocked out, it sort of oscillates between depression and hatred. Do Brazilian fans act in an angry way if you get knocked out at the quarter-final stage?
Oh, yes. I remember as soon as I get in the Rio, some fans in the airport just wait for like to scream at us, like say bad word. You say, "Ah, you guys lost. You guys sucks." It's because Brazilian fans, they're really like a fan of the football. You know what I mean? And then on that time, we super win team. You know, we like win in '94, get in a fight '98, win 2000. You know what I mean? 2006, we get a close. Like 2010, there's a lot of expectation you can win, and then we lost. It's different now. Like if you lost now, the fans understand now. Like Brazil has a good team, but the other team, other clubs, other like a national has a good players, a good clubs also. You know what I mean? That's why it's different.
And how long does that go on for? I mean, David Beckham obviously went through a very difficult time here. I remember Stuart Pearce and Chris Waddle, after they missed penalties in a World Cup semi-final, you know, they for a long time got abuse from away fans. After getting knocked out at the quarter-final stage, how often were you reminded of that? How long did it take the Brazilian people to forgive and forget?
I think the people never forget, you know what I mean? You know? As soon as you get in the field, they all remember that, you know what I mean? They always say, "Oh, Kleberson, why you don't help 2010? Why you don't get at the bench? You do the same thing in 2002, you know what I mean? Why Felipe Melo do this stuff? Why Julius says let the goal go in?" It's a part of football, you know? You make mistake, you gotta stay there to the end, you know what I mean? People's never like gonna be like lost this, you know? They're always gonna be say that those stuff.
I feel bad for bringing it up. I mean, you've won the World Cup, and here we are talking about you losing in the quarter-final. It doesn't feel right. So looking ahead to next summer's tournament then, what are the expectations around the Brazilian squad?
Like my opinion, it's we just get back. We just need to get back, you know what I mean? Just get to show like how Brazil is a club on a World Cup, you know? I don't want to say like Brazil we're gonna be one. I don't want to tell Brazil, oh, Brazil has to be one. But I want Brazil like at least like get in a semi-final, get in a final. You know what I mean? That don't lose the game like they lost like in a couple of years like at the World Cup. No, because we have like a good first start, but when the game's going, this looks like we not there. You know what I mean? We don't have a chance to win the game. That's why. Get me so disappointed, you know what I mean? I just want Brazil like get as far as they can go, you know?
And obviously, like us, you now have a foreign manager in Carlo Ancelotti. How has that landed with the Brazilian fans?
It's helped us a lot to put the pressure a little bit away. Because before Ancelotti, like he's a lot of pressure like on the players, a lot of pressure like the media, you know what I mean? And then as soon as you bring like Ancelotti, we bring like a coach, like a more winner coach, you know what I mean? A lot of experience. He's worked with a lot of Brazilian player. And then the old pressures, it's stopped, you know what I mean? It's still pressure like to win the World Cup, but it's not like, oh, now it has to be one. Now we have a good coach. If you know one now, it's not coach problem, you know what I mean? It's the players. That's the difference we're looking for now to see, you know?
You've got Scotland in your group. Obviously, it's a replay of that fantastic game from 1998. How does a global superpower like Brazil prepare for a game like Scotland? Because you could easily see them as underdogs, but they're fired up, they're motivated. It's their first World Cup since 1998. Will Brazil take them seriously as a threat in that game?
Yeah, well, as soon as Brazil get in Scotland, I was looking and say, wow, I remember that game in '98. See, my God, we're gonna face it again. You know what I mean? That's the thing, like makes them scary. You know what I mean? Because like it's you cannot say like Brazil is gonna be one or Scotland's gonna be on. Only thing I can say is it'll be tough game. You know. Also, the first game against Morocco will be like a super tough game because like those teams get much better. You know what I mean? And then it will be need like a really like concentrate, really like a powerful players to play those games. You know, the strategy has to be super well so that the things go well against those two teams.
Kleberson, finally, how often do you look at your 2002 World Cup winners' medal?
Wow. I always want to get depressed, you know what I mean? When I lost some game, when Brazil lost some game, I go to my room, get my shirt, get my medal. I say, "Oh my gosh, thank you for giving this for me," because it's not easy, you know. It's not easy to be like at the position when I was in 2002, you know. Especially the way I get on the team, you know. I was super young. I have a player playing in my position like a Juninho. I hear like post goals like a couple weeks ago say like Juninho's for him is the best player playing in the Premier League. You know, I totally agree with him because the Juninho it's a perfect player. You know, he's a good quality. He's good with the ball. He's moving well. He's a tiny guy but doesn't get a pressure. You know, and then when Filipão put him in his place, I'll say like I have to prove how's Filipão right and how they can help the team, you know. And then that's why I get so proud to be part of that team and to win the World Cup.
If I was you, I'd just be wearing that medal every day, forever.
It's a great medal, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Like I can tell you, you know. But now I like the medal super well. But my wife, she likes it more than me. She put it on a safe place, and then if I need to see something, I have to be, hey, can I get a medal? Okay, you can
clear
take
codes. Yeah, get into the safe. Kleberson, it's always a treat, mate. Thank you so much for coming back on.
Thank you, my friend. It was a pleasure to talk to you guys.
See you soon.
again.
So we learned a lot of things there from Kleberson, mainly that Quentin Fortune has the best, or had the best Samba at Man United.
What a scoop.
I mean, I would guess it wouldn't be Nicky Butt.
No.
With great respect to Nicky Butt, it's a fantastic
I'd like to see it.
No, I've singled him out. I wouldn't have guessed any of the England players as well.
No.
I would guess it would
Not
be.
known for our natural rhythm, are we?
Have you got a good Samba?
I think I've never tried it, but I can move.
Here to dance us out. I mean, it sounds like, you know what? I think from an England perspective, you always think, oh, we're the only ones who raise our expectations and then lose our minds when we get knocked out.
Yes.
We shouldn't be that surprised that every country goes through that.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, and it's sort of quite reassuring, actually.
I always think, oh, they're more sophisticated, aren't they? The Brazilians, they've got a more philosophical...
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's that.
They've won it so often, they're just, they're breezy about it. Of course they're not. It's football. We're all mad.
Yeah.
I think that's the main lesson.
That's the main takeaway from today.
We're all mad, and Quentin Fortune had the best Samba at Man United in 2002. That's all for today. Thanks to Paul for joining me, and big thanks to Kleberson once again for his insights. If you're new to the podcast, give us a follow to make sure you don't miss an episode. I'll be back next week, and I'll once again be joined by World Cup royalty Emmanuel Petit, and I'll be asking him about playing alongside the iconic Zinedine Zidane. See you then.